Howdy doody, ladies and gentlemen. This is a little deep thought that I've been kind of thinking about, and it really just kind of came to me most recently to really produce this video about it. Check this out. So this is a little food for thought on eugenics. Okay, what is genetics? Well, come into being or growing. Okay, that's in ancient Greek. Good, well, and genes come into being, okay, is a set of beliefs and practices that aim to improve the genetic quality of a human population, historically by excluding people and groups judged to be inferior or promoting those judged to be superior. Doesn't that sound like certain individuals that we know? I'm not going to be naming any names, or, I mean, isn't there a lot of people believe in what do you call it? Vaccinations. There, I said it. I'm only saying it once. Who else do we know that was that kind of messed with, you know, improving genetic equality? Well, wouldn't that be Enki? Pretty sure. I mean, according to you know, Stitchin's pupil Sasha and Jeanette Jeanette share Sumer's tales of ETs, Anunnaki from planet Nibiru, who adapted their genome to Earth to create our species to dig gold. Well, the human population is pretty obsessed with gold. Always have been. Well, why is that? They posed as gods. So they posed as gods. Well, that's interesting. But they are extraterrestrials. They gave us cities, pitted us against each other. Most returned to Nibiru after nuclear war and until recently left Earth to Prince Marduk. Enki and Enlil, they posed as gods. So Enlil, God the Father, Enki, Lucifer, but Enki's the good guy. Thus, the chief scientist Enki and the physician Niti used genetic manipulation and in vitro fertilization and designed a new species with more significant intellectual capacity, capable of thinking, speaking, reproducing, and creating Homo sapiens. Look at this. Although Enki contributed to the creation of the human race through genetic manipulation, he was well-intentioned. So Lucifer is the good guy and provided humans with information on how to restore the Earth's balance after devastating droughts and famine. Enki was attracted to forgiveness, compassion, and humanity. Enki had a substantial cosmic family lineage. So it kind of got me thinking. Okay, we know about eugenics, and we know what that is. So eugenics is tied to Enki, okay? And it goes back quite a ways, and I'm trying to think. I'm like, you know, for those of you who are my normal followers would know that I love Star Wars, Star Trek, Superman, all that kind of stuff. I've always, you know, been kind of fascinated with it, that kind of stuff. So let's look at Star Trek. Let's just take a look over here at Star Trek. Wait a minute. What does that say? Eugenic wars. Khan's empire. Are they really telling us something? I mean, I've got another one here to pull up, but we'll get to this here in a minute. Let's go ahead. Eugenics wars. So we're actually I actually just put in Star Trek Khan, just to kind of, because I knew that, you know, Khan was genetically modified. We're actually going to watch this little clip. It's from the Black Douglas. It's just a part of the movie. If you guys have this movie, by all means, go watch it. In fact, I'm probably going to go and rewatch it
they call him
later.
Dr. Hard.
So we're going to watch this part of it. It's just one part. It's Khan's speech, okay? And I'm going to tell you, this is a good actor. And for some reason, he really has a way of portraying the character. He did a good job with Doctor Strange. He's also does a really good Sherlock Holmes. There's a series out, and he plays a brilliant Sherlock Holmes as well. But we're going to actually play this, and I want you guys to listen to what he's saying. And he actually has emotions and feelings. And think about what's going on now.
There are men and women in all those torpedoes, Captain. I put them there.
Who the hell are you?
A remnant of a time long past. Genetically engineered to be superior so as to lead others to peace in a world at war. We were condemned.
Genetically
as
modified.
criminals, forced into exile. For centuries we slept. hoping when we awoke things would be different. But as a result of the destruction of Vulcan, your Starfleet began to aggressively search distant quadrants of space. My ship was found adrift. I alone was revived.
I looked up John Harrison. Until a year ago, he didn't exist.
John Harrison was a fiction created the moment I was awoken by your Admiral Marcus to help him advance.
Fictional characters?
A smoke screen to conceal my true identity.
Smoke screens?
My
Conceal?
name is Khan.
How many of us are being conned? By the deep state?
Why would a Starfleet admiral ask a 300-year-old frozen man for help?
I love the smart-assness.
Better
At what?
everything. Alexander Marcus needed to respond to an uncivilized threat in a civilized time, and for that, he needed a warrior's mind. My mind. To design weapons and warships.
You are suggesting the Admiral violated every regulation he vowed to uphold simply because he wanted to exploit your
I
intellect.
wanted to exploit myself.
Does that sound familiar? Goes against everything that they swore an oath to protect. Sounds like senators, congressmen, elected leaders, doesn't it? Just pointing that out.
The dream. Intellect alone is useless in a fight, Mr. Spock. You can't even break a rule. How would you be expected to break bone? Marcus used me to design weapons, to help him realize his vision of a militarized star.
Almost makes you wonder, when some of them that crashed here, or got shot out of the sky, however you want to look at it, do you think our government might have done this to some of these extraterrestrials, these alien beings, these other beings from other places? Sounds about right.
Starfleet, he sent you to use those weapons, to fire my torpedoes on an unsuspecting planet. And then he purposely crippled your ship.
Are we in an
in
unsuspecting
space,
planet?
leading to one inevitable outcome. The Klingons would come searching for whomever was responsible, and you would have no chance of escape. Marcus would finally have the war he talked about, the war he always wanted.
No. I watched you open fire in a room full of unarmed Starfleet officers.
You killed them in cold blood. Marcus took my crew from me.
You are a murderer!
He used my friends to control me.
What does that sound like? Using the friends to control someone or your loved ones? Getting them on video doing things they're not supposed to? They're literally putting it out here on display for us in movies, folks.
I tried to smuggle them to safety by concealing them in the very weapons I had designed. But I was discovered. I had no choice but to escape alone. And when I did, I had every reason to suspect that Marcus had killed every
Pulls the tears right out.
single one of the people I hold.
Good actor.
So I responded in kind.
Kind of makes you feel bad for him. You kind of understand his position at that point.
My crew
Was he a bad guy?
is my family, Kirk. Is there anything you would not do for your family?
Amen to that.
Proximity alert, sir. There's a ship at warp heading right for us.
Klingons?
At war? No, Kirk. We both know who it is.
I don't think so. It's not coming at us.
And here's another classical part. Listen to this.
Was it the Klingons?
Regulations aside, this action is morally wrong.
Regulations aside, pulling your ass out of a volcano is morally right. I didn't win any points for that.
Everybody hear that? Pulling his butt out of a volcano. The very opening scene of this, Spock is down in a volcano that's going to, take out a large population of an indigenous species. Well, what was going on with La Palma? Are we an indigenous species that's not aware that Star Trek is our reality? What just happened in Tonga this morning? Boom. But then he calls Spock a robot. Listen to this. What in the world's going on here? Let's see if it'll actually play with volume this time.
Morally right. I didn't win any points for that.
Jim, calm down.
I'm not going to take ethics lessons from a robot.
Reverting to name calling suggests that you're
From a
defensive and
robot.
therefore find my opinion valid.
I was
Artificial
asking
intelligence.
For your opinion. Bones, get that thing off my face.
Captain, a mission could start a war
Bones.
with the
I love
Klingons,
it.
and it is by its very definition immoral. Perhaps you should take the requisite...
Now, I want everybody to listen to this part very closely. Imagine our military. I love Scotty and his way of thinking. Now listen to this.
Sure, Scotty.
Do you know what this is?
It's a warp core.
It's a radioactive catastrophe waiting to happen. A subtle shift in magnetic output from, say, firing one or more of 6 dozen torpedoes with an unknown payload could set up a chain reaction which would kill every living thing on this ship. Letting those torpedoes on board the Enterprise is the last straw.
What was the first straw?
What was the... There are plenty of straws. How about Starfleet confiscating my transwarp equation, and now some madman's using it to hop across the galaxy? Where do you think he got it from?
Orders, Scotty.
That's what scares me.
That's what scares me.
This is clearly a military operation. Is that what we are now? Because I thought we were explorers.
Sign for the torpedoes that...
Do you hear that? Now this is where Scotty, his character, anyways. I really love Scotty because he draws the line with Kirk and he's like, I'm not doing it. And he goes, I'm not going to sign it. And then Kirk says, well, if you can't do it, I'll assign another chief engineer who will. And then Scotty leaves. And he says, fine, do it. And then he leaves. He stands his moral ground because he knows something is amiss. How many of us know something is amiss? Now, this next scene is classic. I absolutely love it, but it's important. Watch this.
What? Scotty, it's Kirk.
Oh, well now. If I isn't Captain James Tiberius
Oh, come on.
Perfect here. Yeah, I called him Perfect here.
Well, where are you?
What in the blazes is going on? I'm freezing up.
Captain
There
James
we go.
Tiberius Perfect here. Yeah, I called him Perfect here.
Well, where are you?
Where are you?
Are you drunk?
What I do in my private time is my business, Jimbo.
I need you to help me out with
The
something.
little guy took his
Take these
drink away.
coordinates down 23, 17, 46, 11.
Did you guys hear that?
Are you ready?
Wait.
He gave him coordinates. Now, in the next scene, Scotty is actually on a space shuttle, and he heads out to those coordinates. Those coordinates take us to Jupiter. That's right. Now, right now I'm over here on Michael Sala's channel. Look at this. Leader just confirmed Jupiter. What? Jupiter meetings and Galactic Federation of Planets. Look at this. Plans for a Star Trek future began with U.S. Navy in the, what? In the 50s? Wait a minute here. And as we scroll down a little bit more, look at this. Secret meetings near Jupiter. They gave us the coordinates for the moon where they're actually having the meetings. They're telling us in movies where they're having their meetings, where stuff is going on. And look at this. Oh, Star Trek, Star Trek. Folks, we need to start paying attention. They're literally trying to tell us what's going on. And they're doing it in movies. Just like the Cabal, the Black Hats, are telling us in movies what they're doing and what's coming. The good guys have to have the same channel of communication. So thank you, Michael Sala, for that. There's another little interesting thing that I wanted to show you guys. Here we're looking at Project Looking Glass. This right here is the actual Project Looking Glass right here. This is the initial design and plans of it right here. And if you read here, Project Looking Glass, the QAnon and Deep State Temporal Warp. That's interesting. What does it do? It warps space and time. They actually have 4 cameras on it so they can actually watch and see what happens both before and after. And it also allows for time travel. Watch this. Here we are at Star Trek. Once again, Spock talks to Spock Prime. Basically, him older.
Commander, I have that transmission as requested.
On screen, please.
Stand by.
Mr. Spock.
Do you think they're telling us? I think so.
Spock.
Now, pay attention to this here. Oh, come on. Oh, it's not going to do it. Anyways,
I'll deal with you in a minute.
on level 13, there was a door open that people snuck in on. So, yeah, they're telling us all over the place, folks. Please stay safe, and remember, love is the only way forward.